Well, back at it again. Figured I'd show you what's going out to the ranch on this trip. So I'm finally getting these big old beams out to the ranch. This one here is going to be used for a second floor support on that 25-foot stone dome I'm going to build out there next to the existing building. This 1/2 inch thick, 1/4 inch thick. I cut the base plate off of it because this was a column just like this one. Had a big base plate, you can see it right there. But it's going to be sitting up on that stone in the wall of the dome, so it doesn't need that base plate on it. I went ahead and drilled holes for clips to attach 6-inch channel on it for floor joist later. Figure whatever I can do here I need to do, you know, save time out there. They're 25 foot long. They're heavy, but they're not nearly as heavy as when I haul the excavator out there with all that kind of stuff on it, you know, the fuel and the other implements. Yeah, pretty good sized beams. I'll just take it slow and steady out there. I've been waiting for a good opportunity when I thought the roads would still be decent out there. Sometimes they get to the point where they're unpassable, you know, with 3-foot gorges across them. Hopefully it'll be passable, navigable. Got that, some 24-inch HDPE pipe, or ADS pipe, however you want to say it. Got me 2 replacement tires for the trailer. Lost 2 tires on the last trip, one on the way out there, one on the way back. Some more pots to get some riverbed gravel to keep going on my little gray beam project I've been working on for a couple years now. Seems like all my projects last a few years, but I do eventually get them done when I get the time or the material to work with. Trees are coming along nicely. Hopefully this autumn olive puts on some branch growth so I can get some cuttings off of it. This is the Ruby cultivar. L. Agnes umbellata. The amber is coming out nicely too. Looks like I'm going to get to try some Arona berries this year. It's the Nero cultivar. I'm going to have to get a replacement. This one never did bud out after I received it from the company that I ordered these from. Tai Nursery, that's who I got these from. These are Burnt Ridge Nursery. Not a lot of them actually carry the autumn olive, especially the, you know, cultivar version of it. And I'm getting my palms slowly upsized in their pots so they can keep on going. This is the one that's the furthest along so far. You can definitely see the true palm leaf coming out of it. It's a little over a year old now. I still need to transplant these babies. I've got 50 of them all growing together in these. I'll probably lose 1/5 of them when I transplant them. They don't like to be disturbed at that age. But I think that's the easiest way to do it because quite a few of the seeds do not germinate, so it's best, I found, to just plant a whole bunch of them, whichever ones come up, then, you know, deal with them from there instead of try to put one individual seed in each pot or 2 seeds in each pot. I'd like to have 100 of them just so I get at least 50 females. At least that's my odds anyway, to get 50 out of 100. So here we are in my claustrophobic garage. I'm sure you've seen this in another video or so. Really need some more space. I'm gonna build that out at the ranch later. So this is my new heat exchanger for the barbecue pit. out there at the ranch, if you happen to catch the video when I had a issue with the other one. So, you know, there's a lot of YouTube videos out there, people making heat exchangers for their barbecue pits or, you know, some type of a fire source to get hot water. The issue is when the coal comes in direct contact with the copper, after a few years of, you know, the expansion and contraction, you're going to get some stress cracks in it. So to mitigate that, I decided to make a plate. This is 1/4 inch plate steel, diamond plate. And then I put the coil on the bottom side of that, so your fire will be on the diamond plate side. This will be facing down, this portion. This is going to go through on the air intake hole at the bottom of my pit that I have out there, which is, you know, it's not an actual barbecue pit, it was an old commercial mixing pot. But this will go through that hole, so the cool air will come through here. There should be a pocket of really hot air from the fire and the coal to keep this water nice and warm as it circulates through and goes back to my tank on the roof. And then I just tacked a few pieces of steel on there, bit them over to hold the coil nice and tight against the plate. And these will tie back on to my existing lines that are there. I'll put a couple copper unions on them. I think it's going to work real good for a lot of years to come. Well, I should be out the ranch pretty soon. Hopefully it'll be a drama-free trip. I know I say that every time, and usually it's not, but hopefully this will be one. Well, I'm on the gravel roads on the way out to the ranch. There's a few signs that are promising, like this right here is where water ran across the road. It seems patchy though, not like every area has got the same amount of rain. So hopefully the ranch got a little spot right there and filled the pond up. We'll see. Keep your fingers crossed. It is about 1:30 in the morning. I had to go to work for 4 hours before I could leave, so it's pretty early in the morning the following day. I've been driving a long time. Well, if I see any other signs, I'll get a little video of it that look good. Getting a little closer to the ranch, you can see this tributary had some pretty good water flow through it. Right here. It wasn't like that last time I was out here 6 weeks ago. Hopefully that's a good sign. We'll see. It's got to rain that one spot for my catchment though. It could rain, you know, 100 meters away from that, and didn't change anything for our pond situation. Let's keep going. Well, made it to the ranch. No trailer drama, no blown tires or anything. And we got a little surprise down here. Moringas aren't coming out over here yet. Yeah, we had decent little rain, enough to make some water run into the pond anyway. It wasn't that much, judging by the creosote bushes, because they're still quite brown. Usually you get about 1 inch of rain, creosotes turn green and start flowering and trying to produce again more seeds. Yeah, that's a beautiful sight right there. After seeing a dry pond for so long. We'll look at it during the daytime. There's water in this one, and then on the other side from the North Creek that comes into the pond, there's water in that one. Let's go over there and look at that one. You can see this one overflowed. It washed off that fine sediment back down to the rock that's under there. Yeah, it flowed right through there. Yeah, that's a good bit of water just right there. That's why we probably got a 1/2 inch of rain. There's a bat coming in and out of the hole here picking up bugs. Beautiful sight. Well, I'm glad to see some water in the pond. We'll take a good look at it tomorrow when it's daylight. It is 2:30 in the morning. I'm going to bed because I'm tired. See you on the next one.